So first, good to see you again, Sharon.
Nice to see you too.
So because we talked about the album quite a bit last time we spoke, I think we can talk about a little bit more general things. And one thing I want to start with is, well, you've been quite busy lately, doing all these things. We talked about it, juggling all these different new things. How has that affected your creativity?
Well, honestly, I feel like I still find time in those small moments to do things as just in spurts, you know? Like I've still been writing music when my son is napping, or I'm still reading when we're on the road, and you know, my band and I are constantly talking about how we can revisit songs, and so creatively I think I'm just finding new ways and making the time.
Okay. And one thing we talked about last time as well is that now you're in quite a good place in a way. So has that affected kind of the way you write songs or the type of songs that come out?
Well, I think I'm constantly trying to find a way to write in a more positive way, you know? And I'm very self-aware that a lot of my past records are about heartbreak and getting through it, but you know, now I'm more trying to talk about how to be a good person and how to share a positive message and wanting to be a good role model, and also being okay with the fact that I'm not perfect, and just being a human and speaking in my, you know, constantly learning how to be a writer and speak in my own voice. I know how I talk to people, but when it comes to a song, like I'm making sure that it is my voice talking to people.
In that sense, do you feel that had gotten lost a little bit in some of the previous work you did, or is it just now you're a different person in a way? Or
I'm just going through different emotions. You know, when I was writing a lot of those songs, I was going through a really hard time, and I was either sad or angry, upset, you know, and I write to feel better, you know, but now I'm in a good place. I'm still writing when I feel the urge to write, when I need to get something out, but it's like this different kind of feeling of wanting a different message that I want to share.
Right. Is that how you started songwriting way back, just trying to get these thoughts out?
Yeah, you know, when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. I was learning how to play guitar, and I was like, I heard melodies, I had this urge to sing, but I never thought about a message. I was writing a lot of silly songs. I was listening to a lot of Ween and Weezer, and I was trying more to make people laugh at the time, you know. But my friend in high school, her name was Dana, like she and I used to sing all the time, and we harmonized all constantly. And so I realized that it came naturally to me, and I honed it over the years as I realized the power that it had. But
what gave you this realization that what you wrote down or what you sang could have an effect on people?
Well, I mean, I guess it started just, you know, my friends would ask me to play something for them, and then I would play a song that I just was messing around with, and I had a friend or two just either get teary-eyed or just say, that's really good. Like, they would encourage me to play open mics and stuff, you know, but I was never like, I should be a singer as a career or anything. As people encouraged me along the way, that it touched, I guess.
And what convinced you then to go down that route? Well, maybe I should be a singer, I could be a singer.
Well, it just kept growing. You know, the more I shared my songs with friends, the more they shared it with their friends. You know, I went from playing open mics to opening up for other bands and organizing my own shows and organizing my own tours, and people liked, you know, it took a long time to grow. I mean, I'm 38 and I have my first bus ever, you know, but I don't know, it just took a long time.
Do you look back at those early years? Because I counted 6, but I'm not sure if that's correct, but 6 self-released albums before you kind of had your debut album. So what were those initial years like? Was it difficult to get through those and to get where you are now?
I was having so much fun. I didn't care. I mean, I was just, you know, you look back and you're like, on some level I miss it. You know, just being able to. just jumping in my car and driving across country and playing house shows and just having my guitar and a bag of clothes and like handmade CDs and being more hands-on with meeting fans and not being overwhelmed by crowds. And, you know, again, it's a trade-off, you know. I mean, I miss that a little, you know, I miss that a little bit, you know, the simplicity of it.
Fair enough. Well, what is one memory that sticks out from that time?
Oh man. Well, so I remember I had a show in Asheville, North Carolina, and I had booked my own tour, and I was on tour with the songwriter Corby Wright. And I booked this hostel because it was New Year's Eve and we couldn't get a show on New Year's because it was so last minute, and we were just staying at this hostel called Bowen Sharkey's, and you know, he saw that I had a guitar as we were unpacking our things from the car, and the owner invited us to this New Year's party, and so we thought that was really nice. He's like, bring your guitar because I know the girl having this party and she'll probably ask you to play. And so we went and we brought my guitar, and he was right. She asked me to play, and it was like midnight. We all celebrated, and then afterwards we sat on the porch, and she asked me to play a song, and like the room was like dead silent. She was just crying, and we've been like best friends ever since. And I stay with her every time I'm in Asheville. And she came on tour with me the last run and helped me sell merch, and like that was probably in 2006.
Okay.
And I had a lot of like hand-burned CDs and hand-painted artwork, and I used to just make my own cover art and meet people like that, you know.
It's kind of a romantic.
You know, it's just you meet people in a very different way.
Yeah.
In that kind of a situation.
In that sense then, what is it like playing these, now that obviously every year I think it's gotten better, so what is it like getting to do these bigger shows and then reaching a lot more people?
I mean, it's a challenge, you know. I mean, my band is amazing, so we have a lot of fun as we are honing in how to do these kinds of sets where they're like rock sets and engaging with an audience that, you know, sometimes there's so many when you feel like it's kind of anonymous. I try to hone in more and connect with people and make eye contact with as many people as I can so that people feel the connection. So that's a challenge for me, but it's, you know, being able to share a bill with all these artists that I admire, you know, that's something that doesn't happen every day.
Sure.
So.
And well, you mentioned the positivity and kind of the change in I don't want to say message, but kind of the tone of the songs. Let's put it that way. Have you noticed that people are easily or more ready to connect to those kind of lyrics, or have you seen a difference in kind of how people respond to the more upbeat, the more?
People seem to be connecting with the new songs. I think sometimes I freak people out when I connect too much. I've definitely had experiences like, because there's specifically with 17, I try to by the climax of the song, I try to pick one person. But there are times where like, even when I'm staring right at them, they'll be like, "Who, me? No, that can't be me. No, it must be them." You know, like I think sometimes it's hard for people to receive that kind of energy, which I understand too.
Right.
You know, if it's too direct.
Kind of putting someone on the spot.
Yeah, a little bit.
But with those, because I can imagine playing larger crowds is quite different than those more intimate settings. Do you have, I don't want to say tricks, but do you have kind of different approaches to how you do those shows?
Well, you know, sometimes, you know, it's a lot of chemistry of the day, and what, you know, it depends on how you feel, it depends on what you're personally going through and how you're receiving the audience. You know, so whenever I feel off kilter while I'm playing, if I'm feeling that, I'll try to just reconnect with my band and like, you know, make sure I check in with all of them and make eye contact so that I feel grounded again. And then I'm able to, you know, usually I'm able to get back in the zone and like perform. You know, I've never like had to walk off stage, you know, or throw my mic down or anything where I can't handle it.
finally then, because well, you mentioned you're in a different space than you were 5 years ago, but also very busy. So have you started? It's probably way too early. But have you thought about new songs? Or have you been writing already?
Yeah, I'm still writing.
Okay.
Always have moments of writing. I mean, right now my family and I are in North Carolina, and so I have a makeshift studio because we put all of our things in storage so that when I'm done touring, we're actually going to be moving to Los Angeles. But we're staying in North Carolina with family while I finish touring so that we can connect with family before we move coasts. So I have like a very makeshift studio where it's literally just a mic and like I can plug in like a mic and an input.
Sure.
And a very basic setup to do basic tracking. So I'm, drum beats, drums, like heavy synth sounds and vocals and, very early stages of a few songs. So.
Very last question. What have you noticed about what you're working on now?
So far it's about feeling trying to be at peace with the guilt I feel as a mom leaving my son to work, but knowing that he's taken care of and that I have people that want to help me figure it out, and that's the last one that's the last song I was working on.
Sharon, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.